Hello, welcome to week 7. This week we're going to work on a surrealist project. This project, again, like the other projects, is going to be due on Friday, February 19th. Here, the sketchbook that'll be due on the following Monday will be to draw an illustration from a children's book. And that'll be due on February 22nd. The illustration for a children's book, all you have to do is just think of a part of the story that you'd like to draw a snapshot of, and draw that in your sketchbook. Surrealist art. Surrealism is defined as a style of art and literature developed principally in the 20th century, stressing the subconscious or non-rational significance of imagery arrived at or by automatism or the exploration of chance effects, unexpected as well as unexpected juxtapositions, etc. So it's kind of a fancy definition of saying that it's a kind of a fantasy art. Surrealism can be thought of as fantasy art, where you're taking realistic representations and doing a strange twist on them. We are looking at a specific surrealist artist named M.C. Escher for this project, and we're going to use his work as an inspiration for the project that we are working on. So M.C. Escher was a Dutch-born surrealist artist who was also a graphic designer, and as an artist he was heavily influenced by mathematics, and it's very prevalent in his artwork. Pretty fantastic artist. M.C. Escher was kind of one of my heroes when I was in high school. My friends and I, and taking art classes at the time, really loved his work and would just be in awe at the magnificent drawings that he would create. Okay, you really see that influence of mathematics in his art. He did a lot of work depicting different viewpoints and different perspectives of things that kind of wouldn't make sense in the real world, but he would really trick our eye and make things that would not seem logical in his work, but he made them look convincing. Here's an example of that. What we have is some figures that are seemingly going upstairs and downstairs, yet they're not going up or down. They're just going in kind of a loop. But you know, it's pretty interesting. This optical illusion that he shows. They're going up and they're going down, but they're not really getting anywhere. Here's another example on the left. You see a waterfall, but if you look closely, the water is going up instead of down, which would make more sense, you know, with gravity. But he convincingly makes a waterfall go up in the picture on the left. Now, in the picture on the right, you see several or a few different figures, kind of roly-poly figures going up and down stairs, and kind of a, I don't know if it's a fisheye lens, but pretty intricate or amazing viewpoint, a very creative viewpoint. Here's a well-known image of some hands, and they're kind of like a yin and yang symbol. They're duplicate drawings of hands. They're kind of drawing themselves. And you've got this image on the right of some ants climbing a structure. So you really see that mathematical influence in his work. He was associated with mathematicians, and scientists did show his work in their reference material. Some more examples of his work. Again, you see that amazing perspective viewpoints that don't make any sense in the real world. You wouldn't want to be caught in one of these images, yet it's fascinating to look at and to think of yourself in there, and just to see the amazing detail and craftsmanship with which he would do his work. All right, here's another one. Pretty well known, pretty famous image. You've got positive images and negative images of birds that are almost like patterns set up in this painting or picture here. Okay, so on to the project that we are going to work on. Just like in the previous image that I shared, MC Escher utilized a technique or a pattern called tessellations. And a tessellation is a pattern of a repeating shape or shapes that covers a plane without gaps or overlaps. You see that here with the goose or the geese flying in the sky, and all of a sudden those geese have that negative shape behind them, and those negative shapes become fish, and then the fish are the main detailed image in the picture. So on the top, the geese has a lot of detail, and as you get lower toward the middle, the detail becomes less apparent, and then you see the little bit of detail of the fish, and then the fish becomes more detailed and becomes the focus on the bottom of the page. So this is another example, like the previous slide, of a tessellation, where there are certain areas that have that repeated pattern with no gaps or overlaps in the shapes. All right, so here's a long-winded explanation of the directions on how I'd like us to do this. If you are working from home, I will have a video link that will give you step-by-step video instructions from another artist on how to do this tessellation assignment. I'm going to outline the directions here, but you can also look at the video. I would suggest doing just the first part of the video. The video shows two techniques of doing tessellations. The first one is just to do normal tessellations in a pattern. And the second technique is to rotate those tessellations. You can try that if you want to. Try the second technique, but for credit, you only have to do the first. Okay, and those will be outlined again in this slide here when I talk about the rough instructions for this. You'll definitely want to look at the video as well. Okay, the first thing you want to do is take an 8.5 by 11 sheet of paper, or preferably a piece of cardstock, and you want to fold that fold that into 8 rectangles. So basically, you're folding it in half horizontally, and then you're going to fold it in half vertically. Then you're going to fold it one more time, and then you're going to fold it to where you have 8 different pieces. Okay, second, you want to cut out 8 separate rectangles from those 8 pieces, 8 divisions, and then you want to cut one side on the horizontal orientation of it. You'll say cut the right side from edge to edge into an interesting shape, and then you'll move that cutout to the other side of the paper horizontally, and you'll tape the edge of that paper on together with the original piece. Okay, 5, you want to cut a shape on the bottom of the paper and move that to the top, directly to the top, and be sure all sides are in the right location, and then tape that top side. So you want to make sure all edges are taped together of the pieces of paper, and then you want to figure out an image for your shape. When I was in high school, I used to play a game with my fellow artist friends, and what we would do is one person would draw a scribble on a piece of paper, and then the next person would have to make an interesting object or subject from that shape. Okay, finally, you want to trace the shape onto an 11 by 17 sheet of paper and draw and color your shape into a checkerboard style pattern like you see shown here. All right, good luck and enjoy this assignment. It should be a lot of fun. What you want to do is use a pencil to draw and trace your shape, and then draw into details, and then use colored pencils or whatever colors you have at your disposal. When I mean checkerboard shape, you want to have, that kind of a checkerboard pattern where you have interspaced colors or different colors on the different sides of the shape. Thank you very much, and have a great week. We'll talk to you later.